So you're thinking of storing your valuables in a safe deposit box at your bank? That might not be such a good plan. Hey everyone, welcome to Campbell's Coins. This is a really interesting topic. It sounds like a no-brainer. Your bank has a giant vault, so everything stored inside should be completely safe, right? This is a precious metals channel covering physical gold, silver, and platinum, and using these metals as wealth preservation and investments. And I will be covering precious metals in regards to safe deposit boxes. However, this topic expands far beyond precious metals, so if you're not involved in physical precious metals, this topic will still be beneficial to you. Most people who purchase precious metals don't really trust the banks.
Don't trust big banks or small banks. Banks are Ponzi schemes run by morons.
And they hold their metals within their home or some other location where they can hide them. If you're a non-stacker, you might not think this is very smart, but there are ways to mitigate risks. I have a video out on safes. I'll tag that down in the comments below. Stackers don't like giving our money and valuables to institutions like banks because we feel if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And by money, I'm talking about anything between what you consider currency, the dollar, and what we consider real money, physical gold and silver. But why isn't it a good idea to store your valuables in a bank's safe deposit box? This topic came up to me about 3 years ago when my family was trying to get the contents of my late grandfather out of his bank. Even with proper documentation, it was a massive pain to get the contents out of the safe deposit box. They treated us like our family hadn't been banking with them for the last 80 years. We eventually got the box, but it was really surprising and a big pain. My grandfather had a decent-sized coin collection, and my uncle wanted to store the more valuable coins in that bank's safe deposit box. I had to explain to my family why this wasn't a good idea. And this was after we had to deal with the hassle of getting his deposit box. By the way, I started a series of my grandfather's coin collection and doing a video on each box, and I want to apologize to everyone for not doing as many follow-ups as I should have. I think I still have about 4 more boxes to explore. I don't know what's in them, and I think I'll try to get some of those out later this year. There are 3 really big reasons you shouldn't store your valuables within a safe deposit box. I'm going to mix in some stories within these reasons too. A lot of stackers don't put their precious metals in banks for 2 reasons. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And a fear of the bank being raided for one reason or another. In 2022, the FBI misled a judge about their intentions to raid a Beverly Hills bank and those deposit boxes that they suspected tied to criminal activity. They told the judge it would only be a few specific boxes, but they ended up drilling 1,400 boxes and keeping the contents of all of them, even though it wasn't tied to their investigation. The value of these boxes was estimated to be about $86 million. The owners of these boxes had to sue to have their valuables returned. And it's good to have money because it gives one options. Imagine if you didn't have those resources to get your belongings back. While frustrating, and while it does happen, these types of raids are very infrequent and statistically not likely. What's more likely is the bank just closing, either because it's after hours or permanently. And we've seen a number of large banks this year close because they have collapsed. Folks with safe deposit boxes were not able to just go in the day after the collapse and get their things. If anything, it'll be weeks to months before they can begin that process. And I'm sure there's going to be more bank failures as the year goes on. Now, let's say that your bank is open and it won't be closing anytime soon. And let's say that you need to get the contents of your safe deposit box immediately. You better hope it's during business hours. Your bank probably closes after 5 p.m. during the week and on Saturday and Sunday. And this isn't the standard for 100% of the banks, but most follow this business model. So, if you need to get your things immediately, the bank's safe deposit box might not be a good idea. The second big reason to not store your valuables in a safe deposit box is insurance. Your gold and silver is not covered under the bank's insurance. Most valuables aren't covered under the bank's insurance. Banks can flood, you can have plumbing issues, they can catch fire, and they're often targeted for theft. If your items are lost, damaged, or stolen, the bank often gets away with paying the renter a small amount of compensation. Each bank will be different, but to give you some idea, Wells Fargo's contract caps the bank's liability at $500. Citigroup limits their liability to 500 times the annual rent of the box. And JP Morgan has a $25,000 ceiling. You better hope you're not keeping anything valuable in there. You can purchase your own insurance for your safe deposit box, typically through your home insurance. But just know your bank won't cover much of anything at all. Brick and mortar branches are disappearing in the United States. I think there's about 10,000 less banks today than there were in 2008. Funny enough, in 2022, JP Morgan announced that they are no longer leasing new safe deposit boxes. And the third reason is far less nefarious, but it's still equally damaging. Boxes go missing, and this is due to error, namely stupid people and stupid mistakes, stupid employees. A well-known timepiece expert named Philip stored his valuable watch collection, coins, family photographs, and documents at his local Wells Fargo safe deposit box. He was blissfully ignorant for years until he went to a safe deposit box and found it was completely empty. Wells Fargo tried to evict another customer for non-payment, and the bank employees mistakenly removed his box instead. After drilling it open, the bank shipped its contents to a storage facility miles away. When Philip noticed the empty box, Wells Fargo sent back what they had in storage, but some items had vanished. Big shocker, right? Philip estimates the missing items are worth over $10 million. While this is an extreme example, this happens more than banks are willing to admit, and there isn't a government body regulating safe deposit boxes. In fact, there are 0 laws to protect safe deposit box owners against loss. Let's say you don't store anything of value in there, but documents like birth certificates or estate planning. If you pass, your loved ones may not be able to access them without getting a court order or paying to have the box drilled open. And as I mentioned with my grandfather, we had known a lot of people there that had worked at this bank for many, many years. And the bank has turnovers, people retire, that sort of thing. And these people did not know us. They did not care. And so when we went to the bank to get my grandfather's safe deposit box, they treated us as if we were strangers. So just keep that in mind too. And what should you do if you decide to not use a safe deposit box? I have multiple high-quality fireproof safes at my home and other locations, and I like the idea of being in control of my things. I know this cannot and does not work for everybody, but if you're looking for info on safes, I will put the link to my safe video in the comments section below. Your time is your most precious asset, and I appreciate you spending it here with me. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.